Two.
And who are they?
Buyer and seller.
There's a buyer and a seller. Okay, so that's a stick figure used to identify a actor. The oval here represents the actual use case itself. So all the functions or use cases are represented as ovals. And how many use cases do we see in this use case diagram?
8.
8. Okay, so there are 8 use cases in this diagram. Everybody clear? This is a use case diagram, but there are 8 use cases in this one diagram. Everybody clear? How many use cases can a buyer do?
Could you repeat what you just said? I didn't hear you clearly.
I said that there are 8 use cases in this diagram. So one use case diagram can have multiple use cases. The use case is represented by the oval. Got it? Mohammed?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So how many use cases can the buyer do?
4.
4, right? So the relationship of the use case and the actor is represented as a solid line. Everybody seeing that?
Yes.
So there are only 3 figures in a use case diagram. There is the actor represented as a stick figure. There is the use case represented as an oval. And then there is a solid line representing the association between the actor and the use case. Clear?
Yes.
All right. So if I was asking you, let me know what are the functions that a buyer can perform in this application, you would say the buyer can
Create account,
uh-huh,
search its listings per item, place a bid, and purchase an item.
correct. While a seller can
Create an account, search listings per item, create an auction, and ship item.
correct. Okay, so these are the functions that these two different actors in the system can perform. Everybody clear? Does it show you the steps of each function?
No.
No. So that is not the purpose of the diagram. The purpose of the diagram is to show the functions that each individual actor can perform. Everybody clear? The purpose of a use case diagram is to identify all the functions or features that can be performed by an individual actor of the application. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Which application do you think this diagram belongs to? What kind of application is this?
Um, Online bidding.
Online bidding, like an auction website, right? A good example would be eBay.
Oh, eBay.
Yeah,
Correct.
Yep.
right. Okay. So let's practice on this diagram and let's practice it on your page. So I want you to create a use case diagram on the paper where you have, okay? All right. So let's say this was for an eBay application. What is the very first? We already have 2 actors here, right? So let's put these 2 actors on your paper, which is a buyer and a seller. Okay, let's draw these stick figures on your paper as a buyer and a seller. All right, everybody, when you guys done with those 2 actors, let me know. And make sure you label your actors underneath as a buyer and a seller. Everybody done?
Yes.
All right. Let's add some more users or actors to your diagram. So what's the very first type of user? So say if you are a brand new user to eBay application, you just downloaded the mobile app and you launched the mobile app. What kind of a user are you?
Unregistered.
Very good. You are a unregistered user. So let's draw one stick figure on the side. Don't draw it in the middle, on the side. And let's label him as a unregistered user. Okay. So how many actors do you have on your page now?
3.
3. Okay. Let's add another one. From an unregistered user, you can become a
Registered user.
registered user, right? So let's draw another actor that is a registered user. All right. Now, yes, there is an overlap between some of these actors, correct?
Yes.
Buyer and a registered user are similar, correct? A seller and a registered user are similar, right? Everybody agree? But there are certain functions that each one can do while the other one might not be able to do. All right. So how many actors do we have on the diagram so far?
4.
4. Everybody good? If you're not following, better ask. Because your final homework assignment is to draw this use case diagram out.
So we have unregistered user, we have registered user, we have seller, and the fourth one is
So you didn't draw the first two that I told you to draw.
first one. No, first one is the buyer. So buyer. Okay, so okay, I got it. So here the unregistered. Okay, fine, yeah, got it.
That's your 4.
Yeah, 4.
All right. Okay. So let's look at the first two use cases here. The one on the top left, the one on the top right. What are these two use cases?
Create account.
Create an account. So the buyer couldn't have done creating an account and the seller would have done creating an account. Agreed? Would there be a difference in the way they would have done creating an account? Meaning, is the use case for creating an account for a buyer versus a use case for creating an account for a seller different?
Yeah, probably.
Hold on. Whoever is talking behind one of you, please put yourself on mute. All right. So Mr. Muhammad said, yes, maybe different. Why is it different, Muhammad? Or was that the person talking behind was Muhammad himself?
Actually, I'm going into my room now. I was,
All right. Anybody else? Do you guys think that creating an account for a buyer versus creating an account for a seller would have been different?
Yes, seller should have business account.
Does it say business user? Rahman?
Sir, does the seller?
So Rahman, let me ask you something. If you want to create an account to buy an item in eBay, you're telling me that you're going to create a separate account and then you're going to create a separate account if you want to sell something on eBay.
Oh, sorry, I never used eBay. That's why.
What do you think, man?
I think as the seller should have like tax info, business info, something like that,
Do
right?
you have a business?
No, I don't have a business.
So if you wanted to sell your iPhone on eBay, you're telling me you have to create a business to sell an iPhone on eBay. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Actually, that's why I said I never did it. I thought that the seller has some obligation, probably.
No, you don't have to have a business account to sell items. You're telling me the millions and millions of people that sell items on eBay all have business accounts. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, then I'm wrong. Yeah, I had a wrong notion. Yeah, it doesn't sound like, yeah, it should not be.
If you want to sell something on Amazon, you think you need a business account.
Mm, I don't know, but sounds like I don't.
No, you don't. Now, if
Yeah.
you had a store and you are
Uh,
a power seller,
mm-hmm.
meaning you sell 500 items a day,
Okay.
now what do you have?
A business
You have a
account?
business account.
I see.
You
I
understand the
see.
difference between selling your iPhone versus selling 500 iPhones?
Yeah, got it. Got it. Got it. So they can use, they don't need separate account in that case. In
They
the,
do not need separate accounts if it's a individual user account.
yes.
But if you are trying to create a business account,
Mm-hmm.
then yes, you do need tax ID and other things as such.
Got it, sir.
Okay. So yes, there are different types of accounts. So this creating an account is actually creating an individual account, not a
Individual.
business account.
Okay.
Okay.
Individual. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming back to our original question, creating a individual account, would that be different for a buyer or a seller?
No.
No.
No, it would not. So why do we have two separate ovals? Shouldn't we just combine it into one oval? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, we should.
Somebody still has doubts?
No, no doubts.
No, I just believe that they just have to be still differently because they act as different actors. The
No,
buyer cannot be the buyer and seller in one transaction.
no, no. This is creating an account. Would a buyer be creating an account? So everything you buy on eBay, you're telling me that you would have created an account, right?
Yeah.
Buy an item on eBay, you need an account.
So
And to
why?
sell an item on eBay, you need an account. And is there a difference in the way you would have created that account?
No. I thought you were saying that why are we not combining the ovals, like making
Yes,
them one?
yes, you would.
Sir, so I have a question, sir. So the buyer for the buyer, I think they need like the credit card information, PayPal information. But for the seller, they need an account information where they can transfer money, right?
Who told you that, man?
I'm just assuming.
Today, if you're a seller, tomorrow you're a buyer, or in the same day you can be buying and selling.
Okay.
What are you going to do then?
So keep like both type of information and make a like a
Yeah.
general. Yeah, makes sense.
On Amazon, when you're buying items, you have your credit card information
Mm-hmm.
with the same account. If you want to list something for selling on Amazon, you're telling me you need a different account?
No. I think that they would look for my account where they can transfer the money because when I buy in Amazon, they just take my credit card information, right?
Because you're paying. But if
Mm.
somebody is paying you, then what?
Then can they pay to my credit card or they need my bank account?
They will be paying whichever method you are willing to set up for your auction,
Can
buddy.
I think I got this one. He's saying whether you put in your bank information or whether you're using a credit card, the account that you're creating is still the same account, the same type of account. You might do different things
Let me
slightly.
ask you something. How many credit cards do you have on your account?
Which one?
I have 4.
Wait, on the seller account, on the eBay account?
Any account.
Oh, all together.
Doesn't matter if it's a buyer or a seller account, is what I'm saying.
Got it.
Okay.
right? I have my bank account attached.
Mm-hmm.
I might have a business account attached, right? I might have multiple credit cards attached.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go time
Mr.
to,
Ali, I'm a little sorry. Your microphone is a little loud.
okay, lower the gain on your end, man.
No, I can't because then you don't sound like you. You sound
Then I
like
don't sound like me.
you sound like there's a scarf, like you're behind a scarf when you're so
I'm
loud.
behind a scarf. Oh Lord.
Like when you talk normal, it's perfectly fine. But then there's times where, let's say, we get the answer wrong, you get excited and then it goes way above red.
Not excited. That's the
Just
color. That's my temperature. That's a temperature gauge, not the volume gauge.
it was just a little bit, not too much, just so that
Yeah.
because then
I
I
got close to the mic.
yeah, thank you so much. You're good. Everything's
So,
good.
basically, if you have an account, the way you create an account, there is a process, you know,
Yeah.
A, B, C, D, E, F, you do, right? For
Mhm.
example, you may enter your address. You may enter your credit card information. You may enter more than one credit card information. You may enter more than one shipping address.
But user ID and password is the same, right? Is that what we're pretty
That
much
is
saying?
associated to the account itself. You
Okay.
understand?
I think they were confused because I think they were thinking it's two different accounts.
No, it's not.
Same user ID.
Account, same user ID, same password. Okay.
Okay. So the basic
Instead of
account.
using eBay, why don't we use Facebook? Maybe they're a little bit more familiar. You can use your old Facebook account, and if you decide you want to be a seller tomorrow, you can immediately start selling and use your same account. You don't have to change much. You just maybe have to add a little bit of information.
Okay. Everybody clear?
I got it. So yeah, it's the main account is same. Maybe the say for seller they want like some more information.
But they will not know, Rahman, if you are going to be selling or you're not going to be selling. Do you understand?
Is the same information? Okay.
Seller and buying is related to the action. Which action? Purchasing an item or selling an item. You understand?
Okay.
It is
Okay.
not account related.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir. Got it. Okay. Same account.
So let's combine those two ovals into one oval and write down create an account. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now my question to you guys is, who is the true actor for creating an account? Out of the 4 actors that you have listed, who would actually be creating an account? Would a registered user create an account?
Unregistered user.
Unregistered user. Anybody else? What about the other 4 actors? 3 actors, not 4. 3 actors. Would a registered user create an account?
No.
No, he already has one.
Yeah.
Would a buyer create an account?
If the
Yes,
buyer
if it doesn't already have one, but we don't know.
if the
If he
buyer
doesn't have an account, what kind of a user is he?
guest.
Unregistered. There's no guest account in eBay,
Oh, okay.
right? Guest and unregistered is the same classification. What about the seller? Would seller create an account?
Yes. Seller needs to create an account to become registered.
If you are a seller, you already have an account, Rahman. Why are you creating another account? Do you
Okay.
understand?
Okay.
So the only user out of the 4 that creates an account is,
Unregistered user.
that's it.
User.
Only be one line coming out of the create an account. Everybody clear? because that use case is specific to that actor. Understood?
Okay.
Let's look at the second use cases on the left and the right. Searches a listing for an item. Is there a difference between the way the buyer would have searched for a listing versus a seller would have searched for a listing?
It would be the exact same.
Exact same, right? So let's combine those two ovals into one oval. And how many actors can do this use case in your copy, in your book? How many actors do you have?
They all can.
Okay, then have some confidence and say it.
Yeah, they all can search and
All right. So how many lines should be touching searches a listing for an item?
4 lines.
All 4 should be touching it, right? 4 lines. Who are the 4 actors?
Unregistered, registered, buyer, seller.
Correct. An unregistered user can do it, the registered user can do it, a buyer can do it, and a seller can also do it. Agreed? Okay. So how many ovals you got in your diagram right now?
two. Yeah, sorry.
Huh?
Yeah, two.
2. All right. No, sorry. That's the right answer. All right. Then let's go to the third one on the left. Places a bid. Who all can place a bid?
Three of them.
3 of them. All right. Which 3?
Unregistered, registered,
No.
buyer.
No, unregistered can't do it. There is no checkout.
But can't he
Buyer?
create an account and then
If
place
he
bid?
creates an account, he's no longer an unregistered user.
That's correct.
Okay, so that fails your answer. Right? So again,
Yeah.
you all can place a bid.
Buyers?
And
Sellers?
no, if he's a
No
seller,
seller.
Buyer and the registered user.
Registered
Two
users.
buyer and the registered user, just 2 can place a bid. Because the buyer is classified under a registered user, right? All right, let's come to creating an auction on the right side. Who all can create an auction?
Seller and registered user.
Seller and registered user. All right. Purchases an item. Who can purchase an item?
Buyer and registered.
Buyer and
Registered user.
buyer and the registered user. Good. Ships an item. Who's going to be doing the shipping?
Seller and registered.
A seller also.
Seller and the registered user. Okay. Why not a buyer? What if Uzair sold me a broken iPhone? What do you think I'm going to be doing to that broken iPhone? I'm going to be shipping it back to him, right? Wouldn't a
Yes, sir.
buyer be doing shipping item also?
Yeah, return item. Yeah.
So shipping an item is the same use case that a buyer can do also?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Nope, not correct.
He's doing it outside of the system, or
How can he do it outside of the system, Uzair?
I mean, like he's not doing on the website. He's just
He's just what?
recording.
So how's he
He's
going to
doing
get
it.
his money then? I mean,
Okay,
Uzair, you're okay with me just shipping the item to you and you don't have to pay me back for the money I paid you for the first time, right? Huh? You look like a trustworthy person. I'm sure you'll return my money. Jose, is shipping an item and the one function that the buyer is doing, is it the same function? Is shipping and return shipping the same?
Oh, different.
It's a different function, right? It's a different use case,
Yes, different function. Yeah.
right? For return shipping, what do you need to do? You need to go through eBay.
Yes,
You
eBay.
need to report the item to eBay. Why are you returning this item, right? Because eBay is the arbitrator between the buyer and the seller, correct?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
eBay is ensuring that the seller is living up to his item that he put up for sale. So in other words, if he said working condition and it's not in working, right? eBay is ensuring that the seller holds up to his side of the bargain, right? If the seller is saying brand new condition and the item is used, who's going to make sure I get paid back my money because the item was not listed correctly?
eBay.
eBay. So don't I have to make a claim with eBay as part of my return shipping? Returning an item,
Right.
right?
Yep.
Yes. So it's a separate use case. All right. And who all can do that? The return shipping will be done by
Buyer and register.
buyer and
Just
register.
buyer.
A registered user can also do it, but this one is very specific to the buyer itself. He has to have bought that item. You understand? All right. So at the end of the day, how many use cases did we wind up having on your diagram? For the folks that actually drew it.
6.
Wrong.
4.
6, I guess. I'm
Wrong.
getting 6.
What are the 6?
5.
Oh, wrong. It's even getting worse. Guys, you're not following. Simple instructions you're not following. Told you to draw all the diagrams, draw all the use cases. So what's the first use case you have on your diagram?
Create account.
Correct. Then
Searching list.
this thing, correct?
Then next place bid.
Correct?
For seller side, create an auction.
Correct? Well, not just seller, registered user also, don't forget.
Yes, and the next item is purchase an item
Okay,
and ship item.
okay.
And the last one will be a return
Return shipping.
shipping. Yeah.
All right.
7. 7.
So that would be
7.
7. Everybody clear?
Yes.
So now this use case diagram actually is for multiple types of users, right? How many users you have in your diagram?
4.
4, right? A use case diagram can also be created for an individual user. So imagine if you were creating individual use case diagrams for each individual type of user. Then if you created one use case diagram for just the unregistered user, how many functions would be in that diagram?
You create an account.
1.
No. You're telling me only one use case can be done by an unregistered user?
Normally
Sure.
5.
5? Manzoor, Manoj, tell me the 5.
2. 2.
Manoj is seeing 5 somehow.
Creating an account,
Okay.
searching a listing for items,
Okay. And what?
place bid,
How can an unregistered user place a bid, buddy?
yeah, register one.
Huh?
No, you have to
What
be
else can an
registered.
unregistered user do besides those two? You said 5, so that's 3. What's fourth?
Purchase item.
Purchase item. How can an unregistered user purchase an item? You got a line going from the unregistered user to purchasing an item?
No, you have to be registered first.
Of course. So you didn't draw this diagram, that means.
I have drawn the diagram.
So you've got an unregistered user touching all of these things.
No, only
Then,
the register and buyer.
then why are you putting it under an unregistered user? Again, how many use cases can an unregistered user do?
Create item only. Sorry, create an
No,
account.
can create an account and he can
Search.
search a listing, right? He can search an item. Agreed? So that's the only two ovals that would be associated to a use case diagram, which was only for a unregistered user. Clear? Everybody good?
Yes, correct.
Now let's say you created your second use case diagram, which was for a
Registered.
registered user.
Yeah.
How many use cases?
Searching.
7.
Look at your diagram. You should be able to answer the question by looking at the diagram on your paper. How many lines are going from the registered user? If you guys are
7.
drawing it wrong. Not 7,
6.
6.
Yes.
What are the 6, Mohammed? Stop answering without looking at the diagram.
Oh, actually, I can't draw. I have a shoulder injury. I think I told
Oh
you that.
Lord.
But
Oh my God. What did you do?
I had a seizure and I fell
Oh,
on my table,
oh Lord.
dislocated my shoulder.
Oh man, feel better, brother.
Thank you.
Take care
Um,
of yourself. Yes. So give me the one out of the 7 that he can't do, which
create
is
account.
create an account. He already has one, so why would he do that, right?
Yep.
So he can do 6 out of the 7 use cases on your paper. Everybody clear?
Yes. Yes.
Good imagination, Mohammed. All right. How many can the seller do?
Three.
Which are?
Searching list.
Mhm.
Creating an account. Creating an auction and ship item.
And shipping. How many can the buyer do?
4.
4. Which are?
Searching. Place bid. Purchase item. Deliver. Return.
So now you guys are getting the idea of the usefulness of a use case diagram. You can quickly look at this visual diagram and see all the different functions or features that are available for each type of user. Understood?
Yes.
Right? Now,
I'm sorry, what are the 4 that the seller can do? 3 that the seller can do?
right here, 1, 2, 3. Remove
Why?
the fourth one. Create an account. He cannot do. Should not be listed as that, especially because now we have an unregistered user. If we didn't have an unregistered user, then at some point the buyer and the seller were a unregistered user, right? In their flow. So at that time, they would have created an account. Here, he does not have the unregistered and the registered user. That's why even creating an account, he has under the buyer and the seller. You understand? You guys understand why this diagram has creating an account attached to the buyer and the seller, right? Everybody?
Yes.
Because he did not identify the other two actors, which was registered user and unregistered user. If he would have put those two in this diagram, then he should not have these lines touching creating an account, because those two, creating an account, are very specific to a unregistered user. You understand? But since he doesn't have that actor, he put it here because at one stage, guess what? The buyer would have been a
Unregistered.
unregistered user, and the seller would have also been a unregistered user at one time, right?
Yes.
And from the unregistered user, the seller and the buyer would have become registered users, right? And from there, the buyer becomes a buyer when he specifically does what? Purchases an item
Yeah,
or
place a bid.
places a bid.
Yes.
And it's not necessary that placing a bid will make him win a bid.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay? And when does the registered user truly become a seller in the workflow? He becomes a seller when he
Create an auction.
creates an auction or lists an item for sale, which is same thing as creating an auction, right? Remember, he doesn't have to always create an auction. He can create an item for sale also, right? That you don't have to bid on, you can buy it directly. Everybody clear?
Yes, correct.
So the relationship of the use case diagram to the textual use case is a one to many. One use case diagram on all of your copies has how many use cases in it? It has 7 use cases. So you will have to write out 7 textual use cases to satisfy that one diagram. Everybody clear? You will
Yes.
have to write 7 textual use cases detailing the steps and the functions for each of these features. This is a feature, right? There are 7 features on your use case diagram, correct?
Yes.
Everybody clear? Think of
And
very similar to KBRs, right? This is a visual representation of all the functions that each type of user can do. Agreed? But of course, in the diagram, it does not show how the function is occurring, right? It's simply saying what functions or features the user can do, correct? Don't get them confused between what versus how. This is a what each user can do. The how is covered in the textual use case. Everybody ready? Everybody there? Yes?
Yep.
Feeling good? I'm staying away from the mic, Sayed. Hopefully I haven't redlined yet.
sir, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
So regarding like I'm just watching the diagram again and again. So these are some conflicting with each other. Like some things that registered and seller buyer are doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Don't we think like just a search and an item, search a listing item?
Uh-huh.
This task has been done by all 4 of them. Like the
Right.
unregistered can do it, buyer
Uh-huh.
can do it, seller can do it, registered can do
Uh-huh.
it.
Correct.
So it can be a one point where we can just separate all 3 of them after doing this.
Yeah. And that same oval will be on all 4 of their diagrams.
Okay,
Let me ask you something. When you go to write a textual use case,
yes, correct.
how many textual use cases are you going to write for searching for a listing?
One.
One.
I
That
mean, like,
one
yeah,
will satisfy all 4 diagrams. You understand?
yes, correct. Yes, sir.
That's why it has 4 lines in it. So when you come here and you
Okay.
start to write the textual use case, there is one, it's not here, it should be here. There's one attribute which is called actor. In other words, who's the actor for this use case? When that comes, you're going to list all 4 actors. Unregistered user, registered user, a buyer, and a seller, because all 4 can do that use case.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, just instead of pulling the line from the user to searching list, instead we can put like diagram like putting the line from searching list to the person like seller, buyer, or registered will be more easy.
No, no, no. It won't be easy because this diagram has two purposes, right? It identifies all the different type of users there are in your system, right? How
Yes,
many
correct.
types of users do you have? How many user roles are there,
4 users.
right? And by looking at the diagram, if it's a combined use case model, right?
Yes.
That diagram will tell you each function and who are all the different actors that can perform that function, right?
Okay. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So you can say, looking at the diagram, searching for an item can be done by all four, while creating it for an account is only done by one.
Unregistered. Yeah.
You understand?
That's correct.
That's the advantage. So by looking at the diagram, you know I have to write 7 functions out, right? I have to
Okay.
develop 7 textual use cases. Everybody clear?
Yes, correct.
All right. So now let's talk about the actual developing of the use case itself. Okay, writing or developing a textual use case. So these are what we call elements or attributes of a use case. So the very first element of a use case is called the use case number or use case ID. Write it down. Use case number or use case ID. And this use case ID is UC 1.0. It's a unique identifier for the use case. Everybody clear? The next attribute, which you're not seeing here, is called the use case name. Use case name. It's not on this screen. It should have been here, but that's another element that you would see in a use case diagram, the use case name. And the use case name can simply say what the user or what the application is trying to do. For example, the use case here is enrollment, application enrollment. That could be the name of this use case, right? And then you have the use case description. So that's element number 3 is the use case description. Use case description describes what the user is trying to do. So in here, the applicant is trying to enroll in the university. That is the description of the use case. All right. Then the fourth one is typically the actors. It's not listed here, but there's another attribute, number 4, is typically the actors. In other words, who all are going to be involved in this use case. Identify all the actors of the use case. For example, we said for searching for a listing, there would be how many actors? 4. Plus eBay as a 5th, right? Because you got to list the system is also an actor, right? Buyer, seller, registered user, unregistered user, and eBay application. Everybody agree? So they are 5 actors involved in that use case. Here, we'll come back and we'll ask you who are all the actors for this use case after we have completed the use case, okay? Next is your precondition. Precondition are things that need to be there for you to start your use case. Understand? Preconditions. All right. The preconditions for this use case says the applicant has already undergone the initial checks to verify he or she is eligible for enrollment. The registrar is logged into the system. So these are the preconditions for this particular use case. What would be a precondition for placing a bid? What would be a
Having
precondition?
an account.
Having an account. Agreed. What else?
Searching list.
Having the item searched, right? Until unless you don't have the item, how are you going to bid on it, right?
Yes, correct.
Right? Let's say you wanted to update your account. What is the precondition?
You need to have an account.
You have to have an account, right? You want to search for a listing. What is a precondition? Tough one. Let's say you're working on eBay mobile app and you want to search for a listing or search for an item. What is a precondition?
There should be a search bar.
Good one, but no, that would not be a precondition.
You have to know what you want to buy.
Yes, I guess not. No, the precondition would be you have to have the mobile app installed on your mobile device, right? Yes.
Yes.
Another precondition would be you've got to have data connection or Wi-Fi, buddy. Would the mobile app launch without Wi-Fi or data connection? Put your phone on aeroplane mode and see what happens. Right? Everybody clear with those preconditions? Do you need to be having an account to
Yes.
for a listing?
No.
No, that is not a prerequisite. Right? But what even you having an account is one precondition for placing a bid. Another precondition should be you should have your login ID also. So having an account is not good enough, right? To place a bid, you have to be logged in, right? Everybody understand, right? Having an account doesn't mean you're logged in,
Yes, correct.
right? So you should be logged in because when you click on place a bid after you've searched for an item, system will validate, are you logged in? If you're not logged in, what does the system do? Prompts you to log in, right?
Yeah. Got
Right?
it. Yes.
So that is even a precondition that you should have a valid account and a valid user ID and
Connectivity.
password, right? And yes, connectivity, of course. And the app installed on your phone. When you start thinking about it, you can put a lot of preconditions, right?
Right.
But don't put silly stuff like your phone should be charged, okay? All right, that's going overboard. That's like help desk, not my screen is blank. Sir, is your computer plugged in? Is the power light on? When troubleshooting, right? All right, post condition is basically your goal. What are you trying to do, right? That is your post condition, your exit criteria. See, they also sometimes call precondition entry criteria, and they call post conditions exit criteria. Okay, so the post condition here is, of course, the applicant will be enrolled in the university as a student if he or she is eligible. That's what you were here to do, right? You were here to enroll. Everybody agree?
Yes.
By the way, if I was putting a very high level process flow diagram, right, about how does one go through college or university, what's the first function that all students must do? What's the very first thing you have to do? Let's go back to high school. So the first thing would be you should,
Registered.
no, not registered. When you're in high school, what's the first thing you need to do if you want to go to college?
Get good grades.
Get good grades, get good grades. Okay. So what are you telling me? With bad grades, you can't go to college? All you need to do is graduate high school, right? You can go to community college, brother. Don't need very good grades for community college. Agreed? Yes?
Yes.
All right. So getting good grades is not a requirement. It might be a requirement for the college you're applying to, but not to go to college. Do you understand? So after you have graduated high school, what should you be doing? What's the next thing you're going to do?
Filling out an enrollment form.
Before you fill out the enrollment form, don't you have to first select which schools you want to apply to?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Let's say you want to do medicine. Would you be going to a business school?
No.
Why not?
My-
Better learn business about medicine before you go to medicine. No? Okay, maybe you're not going to medicine. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to select the schools that you want to apply to. Agreed? You're going to shortlist those schools, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Next, what's the next function?
Search the criteria for entrance.
Well, that's going to be part of selecting the schools, right?
Okay. Fulfilling the application,
Applying to the school.
applying to the school is.
Okay. Is that this one? Application enrollment?
Yes.
No. That is not this use case. That is a different use case. Applying to the college is different than enrolling in the college. Do you understand? Because something will happen between applying for the college and enrolling in the college. What happens between the two?
As a precondition
Oh, not precondition. You either
Well,
get accepted or
or
you get
rejected. Rejected, yeah.
rejected. So if you got rejected, Ozair, you're going to go and enroll in the college.
No.
You sure?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So that's when Ozair turns around and says, man, I didn't want to go there anyways. Right? So you apply to the school will either accept you or your application will be rejected. Agreed?
Yes.
Guess what? Then comes enrollment, right? Because remember, you may get accepted into 3 schools, 4 schools, right? Yes?
Yeah, maybe.
You applied for 5 schools, probably 3 of them will accept you, hopefully, if your grades were good enough. Right?
Yeah.
Do you attend all 3?
No.
All right. So you have to pick and choose which one you want to enroll, because you're probably going to only enrolling in 1. Yes?
Yep.
Yes, correct.
All right. So once you select the one you want to enroll, then you will enroll in it, correct? That's this use case. After you have completed the enrollment, the next thing to do is guys, you're all gone to college, right? Has it been that long ago you went to college?
Select the subjects.
Correct. You register for your classes. Agreed?
Yes.
Then guys, if you can't give me a process flow for attending college, I don't know what to tell you. What's
Yes.
the next process?
Pay the fees.
Well, that's part of enrolling in the classes, right?
Yes.
Right? That's not a major field function. The major function is what's the next big function you're going to do? It's killing me. Syed, your bar is going to be in the red soon. Just wanted to warn you, okay?
You definitely before that happens, you have to pick a schedule.
No, pick a schedule is part of registering for the classes, right? The class registration of the class will come with a schedule, right? When I say you register for your classes, that means you get your full registration done, right? It's a full use case to register for your classes, right? If I asked you, how did you go by registering for your classes? Well, first thing you did was you looked at what classes are required for your curriculum, right? Then who's offering them? When are they being offered? This is all part of registering for your classes. You understand? These are the steps for registering for your classes. The use case is registering for your classes. You understand? Sayed, I know you just graduated, right? A little while ago. Fresh out of college.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Well, is that a yeah, right? Like you long time ago, or is it yeah, right? Like you are
Well,
correct.
well, I should have graduated in 2010, I think.
Oh, okay. Was that the actual year that it happened, or did it happen later on?
Oh man, no, I never even got to finish.
Hmm. So you're in the same boat as I am.
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually ended up getting a leg injury be like a year before pandemic. So then I was gonna go back and then
Yeah,
and then boom.
I'm like 28 credits away from completing my degree.
Me too.
Never got a chance to go
I'm
back.
like 30 credits away. I can't believe it.
One of these days, one of these days. By the way, Sayed, a warning for you. I ran into a problem. When you put your resume on, right? And you put your college degree on your resume,
Yes.
if you're going to list this college degree that you were going for, put a future year in front of it, okay? For example, my resume always says, Rutgers University, Computer Information Systems. My year is right now as 2023, okay?
Got it. Right.
Don't ever put your degree there that you have not completed. I ran into a big problem for this once.
Okay. I
All right.
never thought of that. That's a good one.
Yeah, because I never put a year. I used to never put a year because I never finished it. I went 3 years, I didn't finish it. So I never put a graduation year, right? But I ran into one of the job interviews that I did years ago where the HR department said that, because you had listed it, you are lying on your resume. And I said, no, I'm not lying on my resume. Where do you see a graduation year? And when I filled out the actual degree background check, I didn't see, I marked it incomplete there, right? So when I filled out the actual onboarding documents for the job, over there you can clearly see I marked as year of graduation and the year I didn't put it there and I marked it as in progress, right? So I never lied to you, but because it was on my degree, on my resume, you've got to put a future projection year in front of it, okay? I ran into a lot of problems. I lost a good job because of this shit. So be mindful of that, okay? For all of you, if you haven't completed your degree, put a future year of graduation on it. All right? Okay, so yes, you apply to the college, you register for your classes. After you register for your classes, the next function is attending your classes, right? Sitting for the exam, passing the exam, right? This is all part of attending the class. And once you have passed the exam, then comes the decision, do you meet your graduation criteria? Meaning, do you have enough credits to graduate? If yes, attend the graduation ceremony, get your diploma, go find a real job. Okay. If the answer is no, then you'll go back to registering for the next semester. Register for the classes for the semester, right? It will loop back to that, and that whole process will continue again. Register for your classes, attend the classes. Do you meet the criteria? No. Go back next semester. Everybody clear? This is a process flow. We'll show you how to make process flow diagrams also, by the way, shortly. All right.
Sir,
Yes.
you forget to pay for the classes.
Paying for the classes is part of registering for the classes, right?
Okay.
That's the last step of registering for the classes. And over there also, there can be alternatives, meaning say you get into a deferred payment plan, right?
Yes.
So you can also, one of the last step is when it comes to paying for the classes that you have registered, because paying for the classes is part of registering, because if you register for 12 credits versus you register for 15 credits, the fees changes, right? And the fee for the semester is totally based on the number of classes you register for. Agree?
Yes.
So the last step of registering for the classes will be paying for the fee. And if you don't pay for the fee, you may have deferred payments, you may have student loans, you may have financial aid. all of that will come into play as the last step of registering for your classes. Understood?
Yes.
All right. So now let's talk about the course of action. The course of action is one of the most important attributes of the use case. This is where you need to clearly document in an action reaction functionality. You know how we wrote the use cases, we put the flow. Remember when we wrote use cases? Not use cases, user stories, excuse me. User stories, we identified the workflow. Remember? We did it for the PNC ATM. You guys should have done it for your homework assignment. This is the same feature. The course of action, also referred to as the basic flow. So you may see basic flow written in some use cases, which is the same thing as course of action. Okay, so what is it? Number one, the applicant wants to enroll in the university. Great. The applicant will hand a filled out copy form to the registrar. This is old school registration, meaning you're going to the registrar's office. The registrar.
I have a question. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does the first requirement always have to be something like this, like an applicant wants to enroll in the university or a customer wants to buy something from the
No,
eBay?
no, it doesn't have to be. It could be like, say, if you're searching for an item, right? Your first could be the user will launch the mobile app, right? The system will load the home page, will launch the mobile app and will load the home page. The user will click on the search entry field on the top of the mobile app and will enter the desired field. After that, he's going to click on the magnifying glass or will click on search on the keypad. That would have come up, right?
Yeah,
Got it?
yeah. So can we start from the second course of action and make that the first one?
Doesn't matter
Okay, thank you.
if you want. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. You can start by saying the applicant hands a filled out copy to the form to the registrar. Sure, you can start with that. No issues. Is that line bothering you so much?
No, I was just asking if we like wanted to state the goal in the
No,
first course of action.
no. The goal is listed already here, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. The registrar will visually inspect the forms. The registrar will determine that the forms have been filled out properly. Okay. The system will display the user interface 89, which is create a student screen. The registrar will then input the name, the address, and the phone number of the applicant. The system will determine that the applicant does not already exist within the system. The system will determine that the applicant is on the eligible applicants list. Okay. The system will then add the applicant to its records. The applicant is now considered to be a student. The system will calculate the required initial payments in accordance to calculate the enrollment fee. The system will display the fee summary screen. The registrar will ask the student to pay the initial payment. The student will pay the initial fee. The system will print a receipt. The registrar will hand the student the receipt. And that ends the use case. You are now enrolled in the university. Any questions? Everybody good? Very similar to the basic flow, right? That we identified when we were writing user stories, right? Yes. Hopefully your user story should have a action reaction flow like this when it comes to the use cases or the user stories you've written, right? Guys?
Yep.
Okay. I'm here. Thank you, sir. All right. The other important thing that you will find in use cases is the alternative courses. What are alternative courses? Alternative courses are any scenarios that can occur from the basic flow. You understand? Any scenarios that can deviate away from the basic flow. For example, they documented a particular scenario, which is alternative course A. The scenario is, let's say, what happens if the forms were not filled out correctly? That's the scenario. What occurs or what happens if the forms are not filled out correctly, right? What will happen? The applicant will ask for a new set of forms. The applicant will fill out the forms as appropriate. And then the use case will go back to step 2 in the basic course of action. Everybody clear? So they have documented one of the alternative courses that can occur. They gave you the scenario, they gave you the steps, and they gave you where you go back in the basic flow. Everybody clear? It is very important to identify this. It's a part of your business analysis to identify all the different scenarios that can take place and document them as part of your business analysis. Everybody clear? Any questions on the alternative course?
So if there are like 5 alternatives, then we need to list 5 of them.
Alternative course B, alternative course C, alternative course D, alternative course, yes. Have to list every one of them. Because somebody has to build a function or code to handle that scenario. In this case, no, because the registrar is doing it, right? But if the system was doing, for example, let's talk about the basic flow for login. Simple login. You launch the mobile application. Let's say this is the login screen for your mobile app, for your banking mobile app. System will launch the login page, correct? User will enter the user ID and will enter the password, correct? User will click on, login button, go button, right? System will validate the user ID and the password. Upon successful validation, the system will load the account summary screen for the user. Everybody clear on the login function? This was the basic flow I just explained to you.
Yes. Yes.
All right. One of the alternative courses can be, you don't have, what's the very first alternative course? Let's see. What's the very first alternative course? Name a few alternative courses to this basic flow that I just gave you.
Could you scroll it up so that I could maybe see?
I am giving you an alternative course, not on this. I'm giving you an alternative course for the login, brother. You guys heard what I just said, right?
You gotta put the wrong ID and password.
That's one alternative course, so the validation fails.
Yeah,
Okay.
validator.
Right? That's one alternative course that the validation fails, right? Even before that, there is a there is another one.
You haven't
To
created
verify.
the account.
Huh?
You haven't created the account.
I
The
don't
application
have
didn't
that.
launch.
But
The application didn't launch
why did the application not launch?
because this is unstable application or system.
So you think I'm launching unstable applications to my end users, huh?
No. I'm not saying that. Alternative. I'm looking for alternatives.
I know you're looking for alternatives. So you think I should build a backup for an unstable application? That's what you're telling me. So I need to write code in the event my application is unstable. Is that what you're writing, saying?
Maybe the device that I installed the application is new. It's not compatible with the version. The device could be new or older.
Oh, okay. So you're saying I am trying to, okay. So let me ask you something. How did you get this application on your phone?
Through App Store.
And what do you think the App Store will be doing when you're trying to download this?
So we'll be verifying whether the device is compatible with the version.
Voila. So you think if you're using an iPhone 4 and you're trying to download a brand new application, it will allow you to do it. By the way,
No,
the iPhone 4, will it be running on the latest iOS?
I don't think so. My wife
Okay.
uses iPhone. I am an Android user.
Forget about it. Okay, even on an Android phone, right? You think an
Yes.
old Android, Samsung S6,
Mm-hmm.
old
No,
S6.
not the new version of OS will not load here because the hardware specification.
Well, it's the correct. The hardware specifications is one problem, right?
Yeah.
It won't work with that. Agreed. Absolutely. So if you're not running the newer Android operating system, guess what? You can't download that application. It won't allow you to download it, right? I ran into this problem just now when I went to Saudi Arabia, right? The damn Tawakkalna app did not run on my old S6. You needed it ran on properly on the newer S8 because the S8's Android system was the newer one. And when they put the Tawakkalna app, which is a Saudi app equivalent to, are you certified with your vaccination? It wouldn't load.
Yeah, I encountered a few situations like some bugs fixing update has been launched and the old like version of the application could not run. So basically, we need to update with the new
Correct.
yeah,
Correct.
those kind of
So
things.
these are validations, right? So
Yes.
these are validations that will be built, so when you give your application to the Apple Store or to the Google Play Store, right? They always know what is the minimal supported operating system. You understand? And you'll say that. And when you go to download it, Google does that validation for you, or Apple Store does it for you. You understand? So if you
Yes.
listed them that you're the supported version for this particular application is say iOS 14 and above, if your phone is running anything below it, it'll give you a warning message. Please update your iOS to a newer version. And if they also know, the Apple Store knows which phone you're coming in with. You understand?
Yes, sir.
They'll know that say if you have an iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 cannot even go to a 14, then the message will be different. You understand? These are all alternative forces, but these are alternative courses for the Apple Store's app, not my app. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Understand? So it's the store that does the validation on their end, not our side. But the one I was looking for was what is the phone? Mohammed, have you gone back to the lunch? I mean, dinner table?
No, sorry. The door was
Did they jump into the room where you're hiding now? All right. The one I was looking for was what if the phone was on aeroplane mode?
That was
Can you
the
do it?
one that I was going to
Yes.
say this now.
Yes.
That's when
That is the first validation that would fail. So say when you try to launch the mobile app, what does the mobile app first try to do? It tries to connect to the server. You understand? And if it is unable to connect to the server, the mobile app will give you an error message saying that please check your data or Wi-Fi connection. You understand? That's the very first alternative course. The second one was, which you guys already said, that he entered the wrong user ID or password, right? And that validation fails. So those are two alternatives that would happen right there. Everybody clear? Yes? All right, so now to practice this particular thing and work on your analysis skills, we will practice identifying alternative courses. So the first question that I'm going to ask you guys once you read these lines is question
Am
one.
I
Yes, Salman. What's going on?
Am I getting broken or it's broken connection?
I don't know. Can the rest of you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's I think only him.
Okay. Salman, your connection is bad. All right. So what I want you guys to do is you're going to go ahead and read every line of the course of action one by one, and you need to write these questions down. Question number 1, does an alternative course exist? This is a simple yes and no answer. Okay? If you were to say yes, question number 2 will be what is the scenario that has led to the alternative course? Everybody clear? Question 1, does an alternative course exist? Question 2, what is the scenario for the alternative course? And question number 3 is how do you plan on handling it? In other words, what are the steps? We will need to do all 3. 1, identify the alternative course. 2, identify the scenario of the alternative course. 3, identify the steps of how you envision to handle the alternative course. Everybody clear? For example, here it shows you the scenario. Agreed? And it shows you the steps. Everybody clear on the assignment? The classwork?
Sorry,
Yes,
could you please
yes,
repeat
I got
that?
it.
Because I had connectivity error, I had to log out and log in. Could you please repeat the
So
password? I'm
we
sorry.
are trying to identify all the alternative courses that may exist in this basic flow or this course of action. So you guys are going to read every line and you're going to answer the following questions. Does an alternative course exist? 2, if the answer is yes to question 1. Question 2, what is the scenario, right? You need to be able to identify the scenario. And 3, what are the steps that you need to do to handle the alternative course? Clear? Question 1, does an alternative exist? Question 2, what is the scenario? Question 3, what are the steps? Ready?
Got it. Got it.
Let's start right from the top. Manoj, I can't believe the alphabet starts with an M. So there are no other alphabets A through, amazing. All right, Manoj, start
Yes,
reading.
sir.
Number 1,
An application wants to enroll in the university.
alternative course?
No.
No alternative course. Agreed. Number 2,
The application hands a filled out copy of form to the registrar.
alternative course?
Yeah,
Yes.
The applicant hands a filled out copy of the form to the registrar. So you think the applicant is handing a empty copy?
not
Maybe
completely
error.
empty, but maybe it's something that the applicant
No, that's not
missed.
the validation. The validation is not there. Validation is not occurring there.
Yeah, the validation is occurring at the stage 4,
Yes.
but I'm just saying that it has a
There's no
different.
alternative course. There's no validation. This is what is the function? The applicant is handing the filled out copy, right? So the function, the verb is hands. Yes?
Yes.
So what's the validation of the hands?
No.
None. What's the next one, Manoj?
The registrar visualize, inspect the forms.
Visually
Visually inspect the forms.
correct. Alternative force?
No,
No.
Nothing. Number 4,
The registrar determines that the forms have been filled out properly.
alternative course?
Yes.
Yes, because what's the verb here?
Determines.
Determines. And does the determination always lead to one scenario?
No.
No. This is a validation. This is a check. And the checks can always have two outcomes at a minimum, right?
Yes.
Determination can be either positive or the determination can be
Negative error.
negative, right? So of course the positive is part of the basic flow, right?
Yes.
But where would the negative be covered? Where would the negative be covered, Manoj?
You could rewrite again, fill up the form again.
Oh, not rewrite again. Where is the negative scenarios covered? Come on, guys. Alternative courses.
The form was not filled properly.
That is the scenario. Question 2. You understand? So question 1, does an alternative exist? The answer is
Yes.
Yes.
yes. Question 2, what is the scenario? Go ahead, answer it. What's the scenario?
Form was improperly filled.
Correct.
There
The
is
form was not filled. Not. Put a not in front of this damn line. Not filled out properly, right? The opposite of filled out properly. Agreed?
Yes.
All right. How do you plan on handling it? What are the steps? Now identify the steps.
the registrar would tell the applicant to submit another form which is filled out properly.
Well, Muhammad, there's two scenarios here, right? One, let's say the applicant forgot to fill something that was mandatory, right? You think the registrar is going to tell him to fill a new form?
No, yeah, if there was just something missing, then the registrar would just say to fill this information as
All right.
well.
The
But
registrar
if
will point out what is missing on the form and will make the applicant fill it up correctly, right? Agreed?
yes,
The other scenario for filled out properly or not filled out properly is instead of putting the address on the bottom line, he put the address on the top line, and he screwed that up. Now, in this case, either he pulls out Whito, starts cleaning it, all right, or he has to get a new copy of the form, right, and fill it out and submit it.
yes,
Everybody clear, guys?
yes,
All right, you will have to provide these details in your alternative course. Clear? All right. Mayank,
Sir,
return back from vacation. Oh, yes, Rahman, go ahead.
so here, the register either will have to give him a new form or correct the or fill the existing form.
He's not going to
properly.
be filling anything.
So the in alternative path.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. You think the registrar will fill?
No. The register will tell the applicant to
And
fill the
who's gonna
form.
fill?
Sorry,
And who's going to fill the form?
the student, the
Correct.
applicant.
So that's not what you said originally.
Oh, okay. My bad. So,
Yeah, you got to be careful with the way you structure your sentences.
okay. So the application will be told either to fill a new form or fill the existing form properly. That's two options.
You will put down two separate lines. So you're
Two
going to say,
separate lines.
if
Okay.
the registrar determines that the forms have missing information, the registrar will point out to the applicant what information is missing, and the applicant will fill the missing information and will submit the forms back.
Okay.
If the form cannot be corrected, then the
Mhm.
registrar will give the student a new form, and the registrar and the applicant will have to fill the form out. You got to keep the context in place, right?
Okay. So my question is here.
Yeah.
So the alternative path, this option has actually two paths. So do I need to create sub alternate or just list as many lines as needed.
So you see where you're listing here? You can put the two scenarios in these two different lines here. You got it?
Okay. Okay.
Learn to be detailed.
Mhm.
That's all.
Okay.
Because it's under the same category, forms not filled out,
Okay.
right?
Yes, sir.
Just be detailed so there's no questions coming back at you.
Got it.
All right. Mayank,
Yes, sir.
yeah, welcome back. How was the vacation?
It was good. It was good.
Acha.
Okay.
Chalo, time to work again.
Yes, yes, time to work.
All right, let's start.
Yeah.
Were you following what's going on? Oh, Lord. Mayank, you know you're the second name on the damn list. And you're going to be batter up real soon. And you're not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm still sleepy. I came back really late last night. So,
Abey, yaar.
yeah.
Why were you out late when you know you got classes in the morning?
Yeah.
Not good.
Mm, yeah.
All right, go back, relax. God help you.
Okay.
Mohammed, told you guys I'm going to treat you like
Yeah.
professionals. You're not professionals, you're going to get treated like this. All right? Mohammed, number 6.
The system displays U189 create student
It's
screen
UI, user interface.
or UI89 create student screen.
Alternative course?
No.
No, no alternative course. But there can be what they sometimes call exception flow. What is an exception? Exception is something that is occurring. For example, the screen doesn't come up. Now
Yeah,
what?
maybe there's a technical error or something.
Right. So like
What about invalid invalid like alphanumeric characters while creating?
you haven't entered it, yaar, Sayyid.
Say again, sorry?
Entering happening.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
7. Right? This is the system bringing the screen up. So what if the system for some reason fails or something crazy happening that the screen doesn't come up, right? That we sometimes call a exceptional flow, right? Exceptions are occurring. It's not an alternative, right? It is something like an exception. For example, you went to test the light switch in the home. Remember light switch?
Yes.
There's no power coming to the whole house because of load shedding. That's an exceptional flow, right? It's not an alternative flow. Understood?
I have a question that could maybe have an alternative flow. Up above in the above steps, like 1 to 5, could you scroll there up? Yeah. What if the applicant misses the dates for enrolling into the university and the registrar
You won't be able
doesn't
to
visually
finish
inspect the
registration.
form?
You can't
Yeah,
complete registration.
The registrar would not even take the application if it was outside of the enrollment timeframe, right?
yes, that's what I'm saying. Maybe, and then on the third step, there would be an alternative flow where the registrar even refuses to
How could the
inspect the form.
applicant hand the filled out copy if it was outside of registration?
Maybe the applicant took the form before when it was in date.
Muhammad, take care of your shoulder, man. It's affecting your brain.
So
Come on, why are you getting so crazy?
that wouldn't I think I know why. He took it too literally.
Yeah, don't. One good example is, sir, what if he's applying online? That's a good question, right? What if he is enrolling online rather than enrolling in the registrar's office?
I
That's a
believe
good question.
nowadays he'll get a red error message immediately underneath the enrollment dates if it was incorrect.
Yeah, but see, enrolling online is a totally separate use case. Then enrolling in the registrar's office. You understand? Two separate workflows, two separate use cases. That's like saying depositing cash in an ATM versus depositing a check. But both of these functions are for deposit. But are they the same function? Of course not. You understand?
What about
Yes.
like registrar student is from international, so their documents will be different, like the bank statements from different countries.
Form for enrolling will be the same.
Yes, form will be the same.
Yes, and then the mandatory fields on the forms may differ because of the student, but that will be covered under the registrar visually inspecting the forms, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So the registrar should know that if it's an international student, he needs this section's filled, and he didn't fill it, right?
Okay. Yeah,
You understand?
that's correct.
All right. Coming back to Muhammad. Number 7.
Yes. Okay. The registrar inputs the name, address, and phone number of the applicant.
All right.
I don't
Muhammad,
think this.
what is this background noise? What's going on?
I'm very curious. Are you using Apple headphones?
No, they're opening my. I'm staying over at my
But what
cousin's
mic?
house, and they're opening the door.
Well, what
They're
mic
With
are
knocking
you
on-
music
using?
That's
playing.
the door. That squeaking noise is the door.
No. And then there's the kitchen right over here. So they're cooking and
Uh,
stuff.
they're cooking. Okay. लग रहा है कि like
Yeah, sorry
पनीर
about
को
that.
तड़का दे रही है.
But what's that sound when he
Yeah,
moves
yeah.
around?
It's
Does
the
it?
cooker.
That's the pressure cooker.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
pressure cooker. He's cooking
Oh,
rice, baby.
what for the lunch. I'm coming.
now the mystery has been solved for the last
Yes.
month and a
Yes.
half. What that
Yeah.
sound was?
No, it hasn't been tested.
All right. He's taking class in the kitchen. All right. For a guy. No
This
problem.
is my.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
alternative course for 7?
No.
No. No alternative course. That's just the function of inputting it. All right. Number 8, sir.
The system determines that the applicant does not already exist within the system.
Alternative course?
Yes.
Yes. As soon as you read the word determines, you should know it's an alternative course right there. What is the scenario, sir?
The alternative scenario would be that the system shows that the applicant already exists within the system.
The applicant already exists. Why does the applicant already exist? Why would an
May-
applicant already exist, class?
He created an application before.
Yeah, but he's not enrolled already, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, sometimes it's
But one is showing he's already in the system. He was already enrolled. Why?
Technical error.
Technical error.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, it could be. It could be. The actually legit thing is, let's say he's a student like me and Syed, right? We have finished 3 years of our colleges. We are now returning to finish our college degrees, right? Should we already be in the system?
yes, correct. Yes.
Of course. Of course, we're going to be there, right? And you don't want us to start all over again, right? We already got like 3 years done, right? I only need 30 credits to graduate. Why would you make me start all over again, right? So, of course, I'm going to exist in the system, right? Everybody agree?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Another scenario could be, let's say me and Syed did do our undergrad, and now we are returning to the same college for our master's degree. Would we exist in the system?
Yes, still exists.
Of course,
yes.
we would, right?
Yes.
You would definitely want to associate these new courses that I'm enrolling for under the same name, right? So that you can link my undergrad with my grad, correct? Okay, so we got the scenario, we got the what could be cases for the scenario. How do you think we would handle this? What are the steps? The very first step, let's call it 8.1. So what will be alternative course 8.1?
8 down 1 will probably be the error if the
Correct.
user did not exist.
No, user does exist. Does not is
Exist.
basic. So the system would show a warning message to who?
User.
Registrar.
Oh, registrar. User is not logged in. Registrar is logged in. Right? Remember, you got to visualize this. Registrar is standing on the other side of the counter, right? The registrar is the one that is logging into the system. So who's the actual user? By the way, who are the actors in this use case? Now you should be able to tell me who the actors are.
Registrar,
And registrar.
applicant, system.
Correct. Registrar, applicant, and enrollment system. All right. Those are your actors for this use case, 3 of them. All right. Okay. So the system will display an error message saying that student already exists, right? What else would I be seeing along on that error message?
Usually, there would be some sort of like alphanumerical error code.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the alphanumerical error code so much. I am more concerned about the information, right?
System will display the message.
Yeah, the error message is going to be a one-liner on the top, but along with the error message, I should be seeing the particulars of the user, right? The student.
Yes, correct.
Because I need to validate that, right? There can be 3 scenarios coming out of this. Scenario 1, yes, this is the same student that's in the system, right? Agreed? Or scenario 2, maybe this isn't the student, right? And I need to create a new record. Agreed? Maybe I inputted the name incorrectly, or maybe I did something, I spelled it incorrectly in the previous step, step 7, which pulled up another name, right? So if, let's say, this is a student, and this is the student that intended it, so it's me and Syed. We're coming back after 3 years, after completing our 3 years college, right? What can be the next step after me and Syed say, yes, I attended Rutgers, and back a long time ago. What should the registrar do?
Check for your current status.
Well, yes,
or a bill, or maybe if you owe a bill.
Yeah, that will show up also, of course. But once it flags it, the first thing it wants to do is probably verify if my phone number, my address is still the same, right?
In the school email, I think, right?
Right, the school information, the personal information. So when I am being displayed, my profile, my school profile will be displayed to the registrar, right? There should be certain fields that should be editable and certain fields that should not be editable. For example, my address, can it be editable?
Yes.
Yeah, I could have moved, right? Should I be able to update my phone number? Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I be able to update my student ID?
No.
No.
No, of course not. Should be the same student ID, right? What about my social security number, date of birth?
No.
No, right? But I can use my date of birth to validate the guy standing in front, right? Right? What else? Last name?
Yes.
You can
Yes.
change your last name.
Yep. First name?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You can change your first name also. Legally, you can go in front of a judge and have your name and everything changed, right? So certain fields will be editable, certain fields will not be editable. The user will bring up that screen. He will go through the particulars on that and validate it. If there are any fees owed, that was a good one, Sayed. So definitely that trigger should come up also, So again, you can either edit that record or continue with the same record. Agreed? And if the event that this is not the student, I should be able to create a new record. Everybody clear?
Yes.
And we need to document the exact steps in scenarios for all these scenarios. Okay. All right. Next one. OWASP.
Yes. So number 9.
9.
The system determines that the applicant is on the eligible applicants list. So alternate scenario should be yes, because the word determines is there.
Correct. And what is the scenario?
Is not on the eligible applicants list.
So Ovas, what the hell are you doing here if you're not on the eligible applicants list, man?
It may because the actual user is not aware of the fact that he was maybe for some reason not eligible.
No, I mean, okay, so Ovas, let's say you are the student, right?
Uh-huh.
You have come to enroll. You have come to enroll based on some fact, right? What was that fact? You got
Skipping the
accepted.
previous semester.
No, no. Why are you enrolling if you skipped one semester? Right? This is like you're a new student, right? So you probably got an acceptance letter from the university, right?
Sure.
If you're showing up for enrollment without that acceptance letter, something is wrong with you, right? Maybe you were walking by Yale University and said, "Ah, this campus looks beautiful. Let me see if I can register." Right? Hopefully, you're
Okay.
not one of those, right?
So basically come to think of it, the only reason he would not be eligible is usually it's the payment that affects the eligibility.
No, no, no. He hasn't even decided to enroll yet, buddy. What payment? Right? What has probably happened is there was a system failure of some sort, right? That resulted in you not being added to this damn applicants list. You understand? But you did receive a letter from the university saying, congratulations, you have been accepted in the fall 2022 semester for Rutgers University, right?
Okay.
But when you're here to enroll, the system is saying you're not on the applicants list. Why the hell are you not on the applicants list? So probably the registrar should do what? Should ask you for the what?
The letter,
The acceptance letter.
the acceptance
Right?
letter. Mhm.
And after the registrar validates the acceptance letter saying that, always didn't print this in his basement using some cheap printer, right? So once it was an actual letter, probably it has a enrollment ID or a student ID or some ID that was given up there, right? On that letter.
Yes. Yes.
So now I have to either give the registrar the ability to update this applicants list or bypass it. Or maybe the applicant will call the admissions office to validate the letter. However that is happening, I don't know. I need to find out. Understood? And that will lead to the steps of the alternative course. Understood? Everybody clear?
Yes.
This
Yes.
is business analysis, guys. Identifying the scenarios, identifying the steps, asking yourself, what if this happens? What if that happens? How do we solve this problem? How do we solve that problem, right? You're a problem solver, remember?
Sir, I have a question. There are like multiple scenarios that can be happen. Like the way you are thinking, the way I'm thinking. Maybe we are thinking something different. We
No,
can't
you need to think like I'm thinking.
because like just like the Awais said last time, he's not in the application list. This is also a scenario.
Yeah. Why is
So
he not on the applicants list? So you're telling me always showed up to the registrar office without being accepted in the university?
no.
It can happen. Maybe Ovas just got off the boat and doesn't understand the whole online application onboarding process, right? For the university. Maybe, right?
Yes.
Maybe
But
we could have also put in a step right at the beginning of the process where the registrar will ask for the acceptance letter right at the beginning of the process. Or, in this step, it's checking for you being on the eligible applicants list,
yes, correct. Yeah.
right? Okay. Well, who's next? Ozair.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Okay. Then
Interrupt.
point number 10. The
Uh-huh.
system add the applicant to its record. the applicant is now considered to be a student.
Alternative course?
No.
No. What happens if the system ran into a problem and was not able to connect to the database to add the student's record? What kind of process is that? What kind of flow is that?
That may be a system malfunction or
Exception.
exception. Yes,
Okay.
correct. Exception.
Meaning the connection between your system and the database is breaking, right? That is an
Right.
exception that's occurring, right?
Yes.
You do have to do it. The system would probably show an error message to the registrar. We're not able to add this student at this time. Please try again or call this number, right? The help desk number or some desk number he or she needs to call, right? That's an exception flow. All right, continue.
Okay, now step 11. Step 12. System calculate the required initial payment in accordance to calculate enrollment fees.
Okay.
No course of no alternative.
What if the student was on a full ride? You know what a full ride is, right?
Scholarship.
Full scholarship, 100% scholarship. Then what?
It will this check will not validate. I mean, like
What?
I mean, like this.
12 will not happen?
I thought
So,
the system still calculates, but the scholarship
shouldn't I think
takes care of it.
System
so?
will
Shouldn't this
still-
actually have an alternate course because of the fact that it is an actual line that is trying to figure something out?
No. So system will still calculate. That will happen. Because it could calculate you to be a overseas student. It could calculate you to be out-of-state student. Could calculate you to be a in-state student. It could calculate you to be a free ride student, meaning 100% scholarship, right? All three scenarios, 4 scenarios that I listed will result in number 13. What is 13?
The system displays fee summary screen.
Correct. What do you think will be the amount coming for a full ride student?
0.
Zero.
$0.
But it will still show it, right?
Yeah, still sure you're correct.
Overseas will be the highest,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Out of state will be a little bit lower. In-state will be the lowest. Correct?
Yes, correct.
But all of them will come. All right. Who's next? Uzair?
Yes, sir.
Uzair Rahman. All right. Rahman?
Yes, I'm on mobile screen. Right?
I'm on mobile screen. Alternative course. Log into home screen.
Yeah. So,
What are you taking?
System prints a receipt.
No, not system prints a receipt. The registrar asks the student to pay the initial payment. Rahman,
I thought the payment is already done. Okay.
How would that be done? If the student was on a free scholarship, 0. Your student registrar will ask, please pay 0.
No, student register will ask for like scholarship confirmation paper or some sort of.
Oh my God. What? That scholarship should be already in the system, right?
Right.
How did it determine the 0 if the thing was not in there?
Yes.
There could be a problem where it's not in the system and the registrar asks the student and the student says, hey, I have a free scholarship, right? Here's the letter, right? That can happen, but that will happen in alternative course for 12, not for 13, not for 14. 14's alternative courses, if it was a free ride, you will skip 14. You will skip 15. Will you skip 16?
Students receive. If 15 is a script, 15 is okay. Hold on.
I don't think so because I think that would be like a final closure
still
of
gonna
this
get it.
transaction showing that.
Yeah.
someone can
What
actually-
what proof does he have that he completed the enrollment if you're not going to give him a receipt? Even if it was 0 that he owed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So in a free ride, you skip 14, 15, but 16 still happens and 17 happens. Understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now let's say he's an in-state student. All right. That scenario. System would display a free summary screen. Class?
Yes.
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 Registrar would ask the payment.
Yes.
Yes.
Student would pay the fee.
Yes.
That as an alternate course, he might not have the money to pay
As
the
the
fee.
alternative course. Yes. What if poor Sayyid got mugged while he was going to NYU in Manhattan? And they robbed him of everything except for his acceptance letter. They said, welcome to New York. Here's your acceptance letter. Go register. We'll see you back again here soon. I'm talking about the guys that mugged you, Sayyid.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's what a welcome.
Obviously.
Right now, contemplating should I be attending NYU or not? Hey man, NYU is the only school I think that gives free med school, right? But their
Yeah, my
acceptance is
sister has a full ride to NYU's med school.
no way.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. She's actually almost she's 18. She'll be graduating either next year or the year after that. Or
Oh my lord.
I don't know. I don't know
What kind?
but you know, to be honest, I know her personally. She's not that smart, but I was I'll tell you what made
But
the biggest difference was my mom put her in private school since she like I didn't go to private school. I'm just the result of like New York City's school district. But my mom didn't want the same thing to happen. So since my sister was young, she put her in like private Catholic school.
oh lord.
And then my sister did pretty well herself. And then when you combine the two, you know, it really helps when you go apply for
Wow.
stuff like that, you know?
Man, that's like $350,000 worth of
Yeah, full ride. Full ride.
That's great. That's great info, Syed. Thanks for sharing that, bro.
Yeah, like, you know, I don't really know much how school districts
oh
work,
man,
but I
I
know
know
private
people
school
that got
works.
there's like 2,000 people that apply for that. And I know some kids that came down to being in the 200, it's like, and they ask like really stupid, silly questions. So prepare her for the interview when she does go.
You know, and what actually helped, just so that she's she's Mexican and Bengali and from Bangladesh. You know, so that really
Really?
yeah.
I'm from Bangladesh.
Interesting.
She signed when she signed up for her scholarships, there were so many, you know. There's scholarships for being left-handed, there's scholarships for, you know, some of the artistic programs. So there's ways for sure, like if you're active, you don't have to be the smartest in the room, but you have to be the most active in finding the scholarships.
Yep. No doubt. Well, that's great. She's one of the lucky ones to be going to NYU pre-med school. My lord.
Yeah. It was just like a dream come true for her.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations.
And then she gets to stay at home, which I don't know how helpful that was.
Hey man, when she's a doctor, it'll all pay off at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, coming back here. So definitely, so student can get deferred on the payments, right? But a deferment on the payments will result in differences on number 16. System prints a receipt. So in this case, system will print a receipt with a due date on it, probably, right? Saying that you need to pay the enrollment fee by X date, or your enrollment will be, will go to the side because we can't keep you holding that seat, right?
Right.
So, and then the registrar hands the student the receipt. So that ends the use case. Everybody clear?
Yes.
sir.
All right. So this is a good example of how a BA does analysis, right? Where you sit down and you try to identify all these different scenarios and try to identify the different use cases and the functions and all that other good stuff. Everybody clear?
Yes.
All right. So let's take a break now. I know we went a little over. Let's take a quick 11-minute break, right? It's about 11:19 right now.
Yeah.
We'll be back 11:30 and we'll go for half an hour before we wrap up the class for today, okay?
Okay.
You guys back in 11 minutes. Hey guys, everybody back?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, let's get started. Okay, so let's talk more about our requirement analysis, right? What is requirement analysis? So requirement analysis basically focuses on understanding the needs of the overall project as well as the business systems, categorizing all the requirements and placing them in their right subset. It helps in modularizing the work and determining the gaps between the information which is being provided to you by various stakeholders, various different SMEs and business stakeholders, right? Basically, the two main techniques for doing business analysis is, of course, doing business process analysis or structured analysis, meaning understanding the processes versus the structured. Business process analysis focuses on the business process improvements, the procedures that would help an organization to achieve their strategic goals. By definition, a business process is nothing but a set of related tasks which are designed to achieve a specific desired business objective. Defining the task set required to support the achievement of the business objective. One of the business process improvement is, of course, trying to implement software for the business process improvements or automation, right? It basically involves creating models to understand the current process versus what the future process will be, or what we refer to as gap analysis, right? So gap analysis can be done on the process, right? Where we are trying to identify what is the current state, what is the current processes that the company is doing, and what are they looking at for the future state. As is to be analysis, that's also what they call it. Okay. The other side is, of course, structured analysis. So structured analysis is analysis done primarily as a collection of processes or data inputs and outputs, right? Data and processes are dealt separately, and we will teach you some techniques such as creating data flow diagrams, entity relationship diagrams, right? These are all used for structured analysis. Okay, they emphasize on identifying the entities, identifying the relationship between the different entities or different systems, identifying the data which is flowing between these entities and the purpose of the data. Okay, we're going to be teaching you that also as it comes ahead. So now let's talk about business events and finding the business events. Okay, any action to your business process triggers the business process to respond to is a business event. Each of the flow that will enter or leave the work is the result of a business event. And we will teach you how to put together context diagrams, because context diagrams will give the details of all the adjacent systems as well as the relationship between them. Okay. So how does one start to identify the business events and work on the business events, right? So first of all, you need to start collecting all the varied business events that may occur through varied external entities to and from the system. For example, here are some business events. You have 1.1 registration, 1.2 placing an order, 1.3 getting a schedule, 1.4 making payments, 1.5 getting receipts. So these are different business events taking place. Okay. Next, start to analyze all the possible use cases that can be derived from each business event, right? And collect all the possible scenarios for each use case, right? For example, we took business event 1.2, which is placing an order, and we created a use case diagram from that, right? So in this use case diagram, how many actors do you see?
Two.
Two.
Two. And who are the actors? Three. What's the third? System is not an actor in the diagram. It's an actor in the use case itself, not in the diagram.
Okay.
Diagram, only two here, because there's only two stick figures. And who are they?
Customer and teller.
Customer and the teller, right? So you have two actors, and total number of use cases you see here are?
Four.
4 use cases, which are what?
View goods, select goods, check order, correct, and confirm order.
Right. So you have been taking the place order, which was 1.2, and you broke that into 4 functions. The ability to view your goods, the ability to select your goods, the ability to check your order, and to correct and confirm your order. These are all sub functions or use cases underneath the business event, placing an order, correct? Let's practice these for a second. How many of you have the Amazon mobile app on your phone?
Yes, I have it.
Who doesn't? Let's ask that question. Everybody does almost?
Yes.
All right. So let's practice all these use cases, and by practicing, we will practice the writing the use case and identifying the basic flow. Okay, so let's look at 1.2.1, which is the use case for viewing goods. So we're trying to identify the basic flow. So basic flow, step number 1 will be what? What's the first step for viewing your goods? Step 1. Who's doing the action, the user or the system?
The user.
Okay, what will the user do? Step 1.
Search
The system.
Search for the good.
No,
Or log into the system.
no.
We are placing order, so starting from
We are
there.
viewing goods.
Yes.
Okay.
So scroll down the goods.
No, oh my Lord. Everybody have their phone?
Yes.
Tell me what's the very first thing you did?
View goods.
Oh Lord. First thing you did on your phone was view goods, huh?
Open the app.
How did you open the app? Come on. Be clear in your explanation. User will
It's like being really
Download
clear.
the app.
User will have to
okay,
turn the
hold on.
phone on
Hold on.
first.
Launch the app.
Shit, yeah, guys, come on. What the hell are the goddamn prerequisites for this use case?
Oh, connected.
Have to have an account.
Having an account is a prerequisite to view goods. Really? Really? Wake up. What do you need to have on your phone, guys?
Internet.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, first thing is the app itself, yaar, come on. Do you need to have the mobile app on your phone?
Yes.
That's correct. Yeah. Yes.
Is that a prerequisite?
Yep.
Is it a precondition?
Yes.
You can put down having Wi-Fi access or having data connection. Yes, I got no problem with that. Right? Those are the 2 prerequisites for viewing goods. Agreed?
Yes.
Now tell me the damn steps you did. Step number 1 was what?
Open the app.
How? This is a use case. Give me the steps. User will click on the Amazon mobile app, right?
Yeah.
Step 1. Does everybody agree or did you do something different?
You can ask the Google Assistant or Siri to launch the app.
Listen, Google Assistant, go find your damn Google Assistant. All right, you're going to click on the mobile app to launch it. How many people do you think use Siri and Google Assistant to launch that app? All right, then why are you going down that path?
I'm just giving you the alternate, sir. That's it.
I'm asking for the damn basic flow. You're giving me alternative flows.
Okay.
Can we at least identify the basic before we start talking about the alternatives? I didn't even ask for an alternative.
Okay. So by clicking, yeah.
You click on the Amazon tile, called a tile.
Okay.
And then what happens? Step 2.
System will
The
open the app.
Well, it's actually your phone and not the system that launches the app.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
After the phone launches the app, what's the next step?
It will ask for user ID.
Nope. Now the system comes into play. By system, I'm talking about which system? Which system? Amazon, guys.
Yes.
Amazon will load the
The user interface page. I mean,
user interface page, the home page,
home page. Yeah, sorry.
right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Home page. All right. Now what? You guys make me feel like you've never used this mobile app before.
User like sign in.
No. Jose, do you need to sign in to view goods?
No.
Then
Okay, yeah.
So
and you guys are killing me. I'm just going to go through this. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting here all day trying to develop your business skills. All right. The next thing is the user is going to click on the search entry field on the top,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Then the system will do what? It will launch the keypad where the user will enter his description of the desired item. Let's type in shoes.
Yeah.
What's happening when he starts typing shoe?
It makes some suggestions.
Correct. It's called a smart search. The system will provide the user related search categories on the bottom. You see it?
Yes.
Shoe rack, shoe organizers, shoe storage, shoes, shoe rack from closet. Yes?
Yes.
This is called a smart search. All right?
Smart. Okay.
All right. It's showing you that you need to build a smart search. Then the user will click on the search button in the keyboard, right? After entering the field. So let's type in shoe, click search. Everybody following with me?
Yes.
All right. Now what's happening?
The user will scroll.
System. No,
to
system
find
will find.
System.
System will
Oh.
find the.
System will load the search result here.
Good. System will load the search results page. All right. What's on the search results page? You got to be very descriptive. What functions am I looking here? You guys hopefully are doing this with me while I'm doing it. What do you see on that screen? What functions do you see?
System will display like women's, men's, girls, boy.
No, you're way down on the screen. First thing the system will display is the
Filter.
address, the deliver to
Okay.
on the top, right underneath the search field. Do you see that?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Underneath that, there will be a function to do what?
So
To select whether you're a Prime member or not.
Correct. The system should provide the user the ability to select and sort the list by prime delivery options. It's a little radio button. On the right side of that, what are you seeing?
Filters.
It'll have a filter capability, right? This is all on the search result page. Agreed?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yes.
What's underneath that?
Well, usually it's a sponsored item.
It is, not usually. The next area is for sponsored results. You got to pay extra money to get your shoes up here. Okay? After that comes your search results. And how are the search results being displayed?
Usually this other sponsored items are first, and then best matches is usually the default.
Well, this is the search results that are coming underneath it, right? And they're coming in a tile format with 2 tiles being displayed side by side, correct?
Yes, correct.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. And each tile has the following information in it for viewing your goods. It
Yes.
has an image. Underneath the image, I would like to see all the various colors
Description.
and patterns. Then underneath it, I want to see if this is a sponsored item or not, right? Then underneath it, I'm going to see the name followed by a description, followed by a rating, right? Underneath it, a price. Underneath it, the shipping terms. This is all coming in the view goods page, the search result page. Agreed?
Yes.
Are you seeing it with me or you're not? Because if you're not, you're blind. But if you have the mobile app, that's what you're seeing. Also, on the image, there can be different badges. For example, if you scroll a few down, you will see a bestseller badge,
Yes.
right? Also, on some, you have a badge which is coming above the price for any kind of sales going on. This is all part of the viewing goods. You got it?
Yes.
This is how the user interface looks, but these all are functions, you know. I want to see images. I want to see the patterns. I want to see the name. I want to see the description. I want to see the user's ratings. How many reviews have been posted on that shoe? You understand? Everybody clear? This is the level of detail I want to see in the use case. Everybody clear?
Yes, correct.
All right, now let's go to the second use case, which is 1.2.2, selecting of your goods. So let's move on forward. After you are looking at the search result page, how would you go by selecting the goods? Well, let's click one of these items. Let's click this UBFEN, women's men's slipper. You see it on your screens? It's a sponsored result, yes? Or if you want, you can go to Under Armour shoes or Adidas shoes. You want to go to those? Which one you want to go to? Pick one.
Under Armour shoes.
Under Armour shoes. Okay, Under Armour, which is the bestseller, right?
Yes, correct. And the black
Okay.
shoe.
All right. So how would I go by selecting the goods? Well, the first thing the user will be doing after conducting the search result,
Yeah.
right? So now to select your goods, you could put a precondition that the user has already conducted the search as a precondition. Understood?
Yes.
So from that point on, you can start from the system displays the search result page to the user. That could be step number 1 of this use case, right?
Yes, correct.
Because you put the precondition, the user has already completed the search as a precondition. Of course, the other precondition should be the app should still be on the guy's mobile phone, right? Right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
But to select the goods, you need to have an account. You can't select a good without having an account. Do you understand? You can search for a good, but you can't select a good. Everybody agree? Because as soon as you click on, what's the last step we do for selecting the good? What's the last button we're going to click?
On the item.
Yeah, on the details page. So you're going to go from the search result page to the details page, right? And on the
Yes.
details page is where you're selecting your good, correct?
Yes, correct.
What's the last button you press on that page?
Well, to actually put it in your cart.
Add to cart.
Yeah.
As soon as you click add to cart, what is the system doing? It's validating if you're logged in. Because how can it add to your cart if you're not logged in? You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody understand that, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Your card is associated to your account. So you need to be logged in for this use case. You didn't need to be logged in for viewing your goods. You understand? Everybody understand the nuances here?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so let's say you've already conducted it. You're looking at this Under Armour, and I'm going to click on the Under Armour tile. The system will load the
Next screen.
not next screen. Name the screen.
1.1.
Nahin yaar, details page.
Yeah, detail page. Yeah.
You can't say next screen. What the hell does the next screen mean? Right? Name it so it's easier for you to follow. Right?
Okay, sure.
Okay, now the system is displaying the details page. What's on the details page? Again, the details page starts off with the deliver to address, right? On the top.
Yes, correct.
That's kind of like a fixture, right? Then underneath it, what am I seeing?
The name, description,
No, before the description.
visit the Under Armour store
Correct. You're seeing a link that will take the user to the
website.
associated store for this particular product, his store, Under Armour store, right?
Yes, correct.
All right. What else am I seeing there?
Ratings.
Correct. I'm seeing the star rating plus what else is next to the star rating?
Number of, I think, views.
Number of reviews, right? These are functions. Underneath that is what?
Description. Under
Description. Underneath it is what?
bestseller and link.
It's the badge, right?
Yeah.
It's the badge. And next to it is?
Image.
Not
Oh,
image.
I mean,
Next
sorry.
to the badge.
Categorize.
It's the category that that product lies in men's road running shoes. So it's number one bestseller in that category. You understand?
Yes, correct.
Then what's underneath it?
The image of the
Well,
shoe.
it's not just an image. This
And the
is a
share
special
link.
type. It's a carousel. You know what a carousel is? Something that you can swipe right, swipe left.
Okay, yeah.
It's called a carousel, right? On the carousel, there are two functions. What are the two functions on the carousel?
Share and like.
Share and like. How is the share being displayed?
The
There is
top
the share
right-hand
icon,
corner.
right?
Yeah,
With
top
the
right-hand
box,
corner.
little box with the up arrow, right? And on the bottom left, it has a like icon with a heart image on it, right? Right? Underneath it, of course, it has the little dots to represent how many different images it has, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, what's underneath it?
View in 3D.
Everybody understand, these are all functions that you need to freaking detail because somebody's going to build it this way. You understand?
Yes, correct. Yeah.
These are business requirements at the end of the day.
Okay.
Right? What's underneath it?
View in 3D.
Okay, so it has another function, which is a 3D view function, right? So if somebody asks you, how do I access the 3D view function? Well, it's available here, right?
Yeah.
And if I was to click on it, what happens? It actually launches.
Screen, Under Armour 3D screen.
Yes, the Under Armour 3D screen, right?
Yes.
Which you can actually, it's like a freaking 360 degree. That's so cool.
Yes.
Never played it with it that way, right? So that will launch the 3D screen, right? For the product. Nice, man. These guys are crazy. All right. What's next?
Description prime try before you buy.
So this shoe actually has the capability of this prime try before you buy feature.
The radio button over there.
It's a radio button right there. Underneath that,
colors.
all the various colors that this thing is available in, and they're coming as circular icons, right? And this circular icon is also a scroll. You can scroll to the left and the right, right?
Yes, correct.
By the way, there is a relationship of this with the color. So if I was to, like, let's say I click on the orange one, what happened? If I click the orange one, the color name changes, the image changes, even the next function which is right underneath it, which is select size by picture, right?
Yes.
You clicked on orange, What happened to some of these sizes?
It changes.
They disappear because
yeah,
they're out of stock,
not
maybe.
available.
Correct. So the next feature, which is size is available, is directly linked, and they all interact when you select a particular style. The color is going to change. The images on the top will change. These available sizes will change. You got it?
Yes.
All right. Coming on down underneath the sizes there.
Also, the price changes
Price
according
also
to.
change. Correct. The price range will change. It's a range. It's not one. Why is it a range? Because you haven't selected a damn size yet. Click on 9. Oh, look at that. 9 currently unavailable. So actually
Unavailable, yes.
it allowed me to select the damn size and then told me it's unavailable. How about that? So I guess the dotted line are sizes that are the shoe is not even made in. You understand? So unavailable is not the reason why it was grayed out. The reason it was grayed out was because the shoe is not produced in wides and extra wides. You understand?
Yes, correct.
But if I select 9.5, I selected 9.5, and guess what? A price is there now. An exact price is there. It's also the price is showing 5% discount going on right now. Select 9.5 on the orange.
Yes, correct.
You see it? It's showing negative 5%, 66 bucks and 45 cents. It's giving an exact price because I have selected a actual size. All right. Okay, coming on underneath it, there is a true fit function, right? Then there is the price. Underneath the price, there is also the Prime members get this 125 off. They're trying to push the damn business card on you, right? Then underneath it is your ability to click on Prime try before you buy, 0 amount due today.
I've never
Or,
seen that. That's amazing.
yep. And then see, this is so we are all opening our eyes as business analysts, right? So we are now seeing these details that you would not as a regular person, right? Because as a business analyst, you're concerned about each and every function on this page, because you need to document these damn things, right? Somebody in business wanted this feature. That's why it's sitting there. Then you have a buy new, right? And it has the default is there. And along with that, it's telling you the Prime functionality. It even gives you the delivery timeline, right? It gives you the address, gives you in stock quantity that you're trying to buy. Then it has an add to cart and a buy now button also underneath it, right?
Yes, correct.
Let's, for fun's sake, let's click on add to cart. Don't click on buy now, okay? Just click add to cart. What just happened?
It's just saved in add to cart.
Correct. So you should be seeing a cart icon at the bottom of the page, right?
Yes, correct.
And you'll see now, if you had nothing in it, it had a 0 there. Now it's showing the number 1 saying that you have one art item in your cart. All right?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes,
All right.
correct.
And then, underneath it, you have size and fit, product details. It has other suggestions, it has other items, comparative selling. It has more details about the product, about the manufacturing. So much information on the damn details page. Even if you keep scrolling down, it has videos that were uploaded by other users, right? You keep scrolling down, it has some star rating, it has some related posts, it has, customer questions that people asked,
Reviews.
frequently bots, reviews.
Yes.
The list goes on and on and on and on, right? You realize how many freaking functions are on this thing?
I'm
By the
actually
way,
gonna say, like, I've been ordering from Amazon for years. I've never noticed how far down you can scroll. Like, you can literally scroll for like pages down
Yes, actually, there's another fun stuff. If you realize, if you scroll a little bit down, there's actually another drop down that comes underneath the search field that has the different areas of this page. For example, details,
Yeah,
questions,
details.
review,
Review. Yes.
right?
Where do you see
So
that?
this page, scroll down enough, you'll see a drop down coming underneath the search field. You know where the name, where if you scroll all the way to the top, you know, there's no bar there, right? If you start scrolling down, as soon as you cross the details page or get deep enough on the details page, details comes up there. Then the questions, then the reviews.
Yeah, I see it.
You see it over there?
Yes, sir. I use it a lot.
This, now you guys are using the eyes of a business analyst. You're now noticing all of these crazy things coming up, right?
Yes.
That's what BAs do, guys. That's reverse engineering, right? Where you would be documenting, and then it has a little top chevron with the top written next to it if I want to go to the top of the page, right? So that I don't have to scroll. This is for easy user functions, you know? Crazy, crazy, man. Nuts. All right. So this is all about selecting goods. Now, let's talk about 1, 2, 3, checking your order. How does one go by checking the order? User will click on,
Buy now.
no, not check order.
Okay. Check on.
User will click on the shopping cart, boys and girls.
Okay. Yeah, add to.
Not add to cart, shopping cart. Add to cart was selecting the goods up here, right? Checking your order. Remember, your order may have multiple items in it, right?
Yes.
And how do you view your order? You click on the shop,
Select that order.
and then the load page will, the system will load the shopping cart page, right? And there you're again seeing all the products, they're being displayed to you again in rows, right? And again, you see the image, the name of the product, the badge, the price, the size you selected, the color you selected, right?
Yes.
Yes. And then you have a little quantity number being displayed with a trash can icon on the left side and a plus on the right, right?
Yes. Correct.
Let's do this. Let's click on the plus symbol for a second.
2. Yes.
What happened to my trash can? The trash can icon that was on the left side of the number, what
Yeah.
happened to it?
It disappeared.
Well,
And
it
it's a
didn't
minus.
disappear.
It's
It
a
got
minus
changed
now.
into a minus now. Why? Because right now you have more than one item. You can reduce it. Click the minus. What happens?
Disappear.
What disappear?
Oh yeah. Just click double down. So yeah.
Goes back to a trash can.
Yeah.
Goes back to the trash can because now you only have one of these items. You see that? Another requirement. If the item is only one, show a trash can and a positive to increase. So that is to confirm your order to the correct the order. 1.24 on the bottom here, right?
Yes.
You see the use case 1.24, correcting and confirming your order, right? When we talk about correcting, there are three things you can correct. You can add an item, increase the quantity, decrease the quantity, or what's the third one?
Confirm.
No, confirm is not correcting.
Save it for later.
Okay, you can save it for later also with part of correcting. But the third one was deleting the item,
Yeah. Delete.
increasing the quantity, reducing the quantity, or removing the item or saving the item for later. There are four functions underneath the correct, right?
Yes. Correct.
All right. And then the last one will be, of course, confirming your item. How do we confirm? By clicking on
That item.
no, add item is not confirming your order, yaar. Come on. Oh Lord.
By selecting.
Proceed to checkout. Oh my
Proceed to
God.
checkout. Yeah.
right? That's where you have actually confirmed your order, right? You have placed the order now. Of course, you still got to go through the payment and picking your credit card and picking your shipping address and all that other stuff next, right?
Yes, correct. Yes. Yeah,
But
sure.
this use case, confirming your order, happens with proceed to checkout. Everybody clear?
Yes.
That is the level of detail that should be in the use case, because the use case is the last requirements that you as a VA will be doing. You understand? Because the use case will probably be in the functional requirements. And after the FRD, what's the next document? What's the next document after the FRD?
CR?
No, CR is a change request, yeah. Project documents, BRD, FRD, then comes. Oh God. TDD, guys, TDD. You remember what TDD is? Wow, silence.
Technical design
Design
document.
development. Yeah. Document.
Not design development, genius.
Sorry. Technical design document. Yeah.
Right. Goddamn, know your basics, man. This is basics. Right? That's like asking you, where does the toothpaste go on the toothbrush? Do you have to answer? Think about that.
Yeah.
All right. Same thing. You should not think about BRD, FRD, TDD. Right? Different stages of your project, right? Planning, requirements, design,
Design phase. Yeah.
development, testing, deployment. You should not be thinking about this thing, right? We spend so much time building your foundations. I'm scared if you tell me that your foundations are not strong. All right. So we're going to stop here for today. When we come back tomorrow, we start on how to work on the business event. Okay. Any questions today? You're going into the world of analysis now. You're deep diving into analysis. Be focused. All right. It's very important now. Questions? All right. Have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.